Welcome to the Dull Dime Report. I'm Ken. You're beautiful. And let's get into it.
Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
So, what is the Dull Dime Report? Well, this is a show about advocacy and news when it comes to the vapor industry. Today we're going to be focusing on one part of it, which is Washington State and their SB 6118.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, I'm Addie Ralston, committee staff. Before you is proposed substitute Senate Bill 6118 relating to a directory for nicotine vapor products. By way of background, Washington state law requires tobacco manufacturers to provide certain information to the Attorney General's office or AGO. The AGO maintains and publishes a tobacco product manufacturer's directory. Affixing stamps to or selling products not included in the directory is prohibited. Penalties for violations are provided in the law. There is no nicotine vapor products directory required by Washington state law. The Liquor and Cannabis Board, or LCB, issues 3 types of licenses for vapor products. These licenses include a vapor product retailer's license, a vapor product distributor's license, and a vapor product delivery sale license. No one may engage in or conduct business as a retailer, distributor, or delivery seller in Washington state without a valid license issued by LCB. The bill before you requires nicotine vapor product manufacturers to submit a certification form to the LCB regarding their nicotine vapor products, requires LCB to create and maintain a nicotine vapor products directory, establishes penalties for violators that sell or offer nicotine vapor products not listed on the directory, requires LCB to conduct biannual compliance checks for nicotine vapor product retailers, distributors, and wholesalers, and directs LCB to submit annual reports to the legislature.
Basically what this is Washington State's own version of the PMTA process set forth by the FDA, who is in big trouble with the Fifth Circuit of Court, by the way, if anybody's paid attention to that. What this will force companies to do is if they want to sell their products in Washington State, they literally have to submit another form just to Washington State in order to be sold. For example, if Geek Vape wanted to sell their Winax H1 or their Winax, however you pronounce it, they would have to submit a form for just the battery as well as each of their pods. The cost for that is $1,000 per. That means that just for the Winax alone, they would have to submit $3,000. On top of which, there is an annual fee of $250 to keep your product on the list. Now, this certification form must include a copy of the marketing authorization from the United States Food and Drug Administration, aka the FDA, for the vapor products or evidence of pre-market tobacco product application. Now, what is that? What is the PMTA? That's the pre-market tobacco authorization. Basically, if a company submits for a PMTA for their product or products, and the marketing order is granted, that product can legally be sold until it receives an MDO.
So 6118 is, as we know, in 2013, the FDA for the first time started taking over tobacco and cigarettes and looking at that. And that was a big change. And this, I think, kind of builds on that as far as safety. So this would create a directory for vape products, and the directory would be FDA approved and reviewed products. It seems like, and I think you're going to hear this in testimony, there's a lot of store owners that are offered products to sell in their store and they don't know what they've gone through. There's no way to check if they've been FDA approved or not. This would have the state setting up a directory so that anyone can look at that directory and see what they're buying if it's been FDA approved.
Now, what this law will do is eliminate that portion entirely, basically to where if a product has not been denied, it also cannot legally be sold, which means that the only things that can be sold are those that have already been pre-approved by the FDA, which are only big tobacco products. This will create a monopoly. Every single vape shop in the state of Washington will be forced to close overnight, as all the products they sell will then be deemed illegal and subject to seizure. Hundreds, if not thousands, of people will be out of job overnight. The backers of the bill are trying to push this through quickly. In the actual statement here, it says they're hoping to have it done by the end of 2024, by earliest August. So this bill will be moved through quickly.
Hi, I'm Sean De Silva. I'm one of the members of Washington Smoke Free, and I own adult vapor stores. Make no mistake about this. This is a big tobacco bill. Okay, it's a registry bill. You're absolutely correct. I'm also a manufacturer. For my products, because the way the FDA defines a single SKU, it would cost me $299,000 just to submit to the registry of Washington State. Now, the PMTA process, that is the process that the FDA put forth to review, there were 23 million products submitted and they've approved 23. Less than 3 weeks ago, the Fifth Circuit Court basically eviscerated the FDA's PMTA process and issued a stay because they said it was arbitrary, capricious. It was basically a wild goose chase. And then they denied that there was a goose and they denied that there was a chase. There was no written decent policy. The concern is that you're going to give big tobacco the items and you're going to kill every single adult vape store in this state, 100%. We saw it when we had a flavor ban. We lost 85% of our revenue overnight. And then when the temporary ban was removed, we finally built it back up. This is a death knell to every single adult vapor store in the state, bar none. And it's big tobacco that is supporting it.
Do you know how many vapor stores there are in
Well,
the
that are left, probably about 180. There used to be well over 300, but that first round, a lot of people left.
Okay.
Now here are the penalties, which was not discussed during the testimonies. It is unlawful to sell or offer nicotine vapor products not listed on the directory. The following penalties are: a retailer, delivery seller, distributor, or wholesaler who sells or offers for sale a nicotine product that is not included in the directory is subject to a civil penalty of $1,000 per day for each product offered until the product is removed from the market or properly listed on the directory. Number 2, license suspension for 30 days for a second violation in 2 years and for 90 days for a third violation in 2 years. And license revocation for a fourth violation in 2 years. And number 3, a manufacturer whose nicotine vapor products are not listed in the directory and sold in the state, whether directly or indirectly, is subject to a civil penalty of $1,000 per day for each product offered until the product is removed from the market or properly listed on the directory, and the offending products may be seized by LCB enforcement officers. Now, what I'm seeing here is a manufacturer whose nicotine vapor products are not listed in the directory and sold in the state. Manufacturers go through many different online distributors. In my opinion, they should not be held accountable if someone within a state that has them banned purchases them to sell. Why should the manufacturers be held responsible for something that is sent from a third party to another party? Now, with the co-sponsors of this bill here, one popped out to me very much so, and her name is Karen Kaiser. As you'll see here, after giving testimony, she asked some questions.
Hello, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Sarah Stewart. I'm here today representing the Washington Smoke Free Association. These are the 21 and over vapor stores that are in our state. To clarify a couple things, most of these stores sell open systems. These are manually filled e-liquid systems versus the closed system, which are the smaller disposable ones like you see on the shelves of convenience store. Many stores do offer those as well, but the majority of their sales are from the open systems, where this bill encompasses everything. When the tax bill in 2019, House Bill 1873, went into place, all of the money from the vapor tax got divided into 2 different accounts. One was towards Andy Hill and one was for the Foundational Public Health System account. FPHS receives over $12 million today as of the DOR's last report in November, and Andy Hill gets $10 million annually. The list that they are wanting to create as written would only allow FDA-approved products to be on it, of which there are 23. Of those 23, only 6 are currently available to consumers. There is no pending list available. Most people have received a marketing denial order, and therefore, as stated previously, 99.9% would be removed from the shelves. And I'd like to note that the products that are available are only from Big Tobacco, Altria, RJR, and JT Tobacco. No small business has been able to get through the PMTA process, and the PMTA process is being litigated to date in the federal court.
Sarah, question. You said you're representing stores that have, what, liquid vape or vapor
Yeah,
injected into a vapor delivery system, like a
yes.
smoking thing?
Refillable, yeah.
Refillable thing.
Refillable,
Yes, I remember this now.
Yeah.
Okay, and so do the consumer, or do the products that are being refilled, are they containing nicotine?
Yes.
Contain nicotine
They-
only?
They contain nicotine only.
Now, with this, just interrupting really quick here, I don't blame her for not knowing what an open-end system is, for the simple fact that she does not vape. By the seams of it, she does not actually seem educated in vaping at all. However,
And all of the products that I know of that are currently being sold have applied for the PMTA process. Like, they did everything right. And like I said, every single one was denied except for the ones that were put forward by the big tobacco companies.
And what's PM?
That's the process that they had to go through to, it's a pre-market authorization. So they had to fill out,
Through the FDA?
yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
why are you co-sponsoring a bill if you do not even know what the PMTA process is? Why? Now, we all know that this type of bill is being presented, or a form of this bill is being presented in multiple different states. And all of it is backed by Big Tobacco.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I'm Dave Dobbins. I'm a consultant for Altria Client Services, but I'm also deeply steeped in this issue. I worked for over 20 years with Truth. We helped drive down youth smoking from over 23% in the early 2000s to now less than 3%. However, I believe the 30 million remaining adult smokers deserve an opportunity to switch to products that are safer. But they also deserve to know that those products have been reviewed by the FDA and meet the appropriate for public health standard. Manufacturers that engage with that process and have filed timely can continue to sell their products as long as they are interacting with the NDA or FDA, or if they have challenged an MDO in court. Nicotine is an addictive drug and should be regulated. Thank you very much.
Once again, this bill is backed by Big Tobacco. So when Big Tobacco advocates legislation, it does raise the question, whose interests are truly being served? Is it the public safety, or is it their own financial gain? I'm leaning toward this financial gain because if this goes through, it creates a monopoly for Big Tobacco, as theirs will be the only products that could legally be sold until the list is created. There are links down below to SB 6118 for you to read in full, as well as a call to action from CASA as well. If you're watching this, please help out and do the right thing. Help out with the call of action if you live in Washington State. That's all it is for now for the Dull Dime Report. We'll be touching on more different issues later on. But for now, I want to thank you very much for watching. As always, I'm Ken. You're beautiful. And don't let your freedoms be taken away.